What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me doing the updated tier list as of July 2024. We are back with another one, guys, and in today's video we're gonna be doing these three characters right here without the new Merlin. Now, the reason why I'm not covering the new Merlin in this tier list video is because I actually don't own the character on my JP account, and I haven't really gotten any testing myself, so I decided I would save her for next month when I do get her on global. And so we'll just do these three characters right here, guys. We have the red Chandler, we have red Sabnock, and we have LR red Lilia. And I can go over each of these three characters here and where we're actually going to rank them on the PvP tier list and then also the PvE tier list as well. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are on the road to that 50,000 subscribers. If you guys haven't hit the sub button already, man, what are you guys doing? And if you guys are wondering what the tier list looked like last month, you can check out my last month's video as well. Alright, guys, so starting off with the brand new red Chandler here, let's actually go over his kit and where we're actually going to rank him on the tier list. Alright, so we have we have the Ancient Demon Mage Chandler here pulled up, guys. Let's actually go over what his kit's able to do and where we're gonna, place him on the tier list in terms of where he's good. So starting off with his passive here, Ancient Magic, and this, as you guys can see, is active also in the sub slot as well. If all allies, including the secondary slot hero, are demons, demon allies damage taken will decrease by 30%, and their attack related stats will be increased by 15%. In addition, if the hero is assuming a stance, demon allies critical resistance and critical defense increase by 30%. So that's going to be the Mage Chandler's passive. Now moving on to his Holy Relic here, guys, which the other blue Chandler does have as well. It's going to be the Khan's Rune Staff. Removes debuffs from self when using a stance skill and decreases damage taken by 30% for 2 turns and increases HP related stats by 20% as well. Now hopping into Chandler's actual skills here, we have the first skill here being a AoE gauge reduction. So at the rank 1 is going to be 150, rank 2 is going to be 150, take 1 gauge, rank 3 is going to be 250, 3 gauge. So yeah, I mean, just an AoE gauge reduction. It's an alright skill. I mean, if everyone's rushing an ultimate, you're able to take it from everybody. So, there is that as well. And then moving on from that, guys, we do have the stance skills. So the Mystic Barrier assumes a stance which taunts enemies and decreases damage taken by 40% when attacked for 2 turns. And the taunt is going to direct all attacks towards self. And on the scaling in terms of the levels here, guys, it's going to go on the rank 2, it's actually going to be able to deplete gauge from the enemy. And it's going to be 50% and then 60% respectively. And then it's actually 2 gauge on the rank 3, whereas rank 2 is going to be 1 gauge. And then rank 1 is just going to be a 2-turn taunt. So yeah, that's going to be Chandler's stance skill right there. And then moving on to his ultimate here, guys, it's going to be Meteor Works, which is going to inflict charge damage equal to 455% of attack on all enemies. And charge is going to ignore defense, so pretty much the defense stat just gets completely ignored when you're using this ultimate. Alright, guys, so now that we know exactly what Chandler does, where are we actually going to rank him on the tier list here? So we have right here the PvP tier list, the one that I had from last month. Where are we actually going to rank Chandler here? Now, he is a demon character, and I have demons kind of highly rated. But the thing is, right now with demons, guys, I don't think they're a meta team at the moment, actually. So we got to do some changes with the tier list. So what I'll do is I'll put Chandler in the A tier. Because I don't think demons are actually S tier anymore. So we're actually going to drop down a bunch of these demon characters into the A tier right here, guys. So we're just going to move all these demons here. Yeah, the main reason why I think demon team is not a meta team at the moment is mainly because the human team got major buffs with the past month, obviously with Percival and how strong he is, and then the fact that we have a new LR, not that it is necessarily buffing the human team, but it does help the human team and not necessarily demons. Sins are also a very, very strong team going on in the meta right now, and we also have another team that actually moved up in the ranking, which we will talk about, that has is pretty much connected with the next character we have. So what I'll do is I'll actually move up some of the unknown characters, specifically these 3. I'm going to move up these 3 specifically, and we'll leave the other unknowns, but I think they are also viable on the team, and you definitely can run them. So that's also going to segue us into Sabnock here, guys. So let's actually rank Chandler on the PvE side of the game real quick. In my opinion, for Chandler in PvE, honestly, I don't even think I'm going to rank him very highly. I'd probably just put him in the D tier. I'll be honest. I don't think we're really going to get much use out of Chandler. He's not a counter character. He's mainly just a stance character. And let me actually pull up his kit again for a sec. It's 15% attack related. You have to run him in the sub slot. Yeah, I mean, there's not much content. I could definitely give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's farming. you know, I can give it the benefit of the doubt there, and we could put him maybe in C tier. But like, honestly, not much use you're gonna get out of this character, guys. I mean, he's only really gonna be a backline support for maybe like a demon farming team. So if you know, want to run that, then you could definitely run Chandler. But yeah, I mean, that would be pretty much where I rank him there. So yeah, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on now to Sabnock and talk about mainly the PvP side of the game with her and where she kind of ranks there, and how we're actually changing up the tier list here. Alright guys, so we got the Nightmare Sabnock here. Let's actually go over her kit and see what she's actually able to do. So starting off with her Unity here, as she does have a Unity, it's going to increase attack related stats of allies with the Unity effect by, it's 8% at 1 to 6, so I have 2 to 6, 9% at 2 to 6, and decrease their defense related stats by 5%. The attack related increase effect is enhanced based on the ultimate move level, and the defense related will always stay at the 5. Now moving on to her passive here, guys, we got Dark Shadows. It's going to apply Dark Moon's shield on the hero for 1 turn at the start of the battle, and if there are 2 more enemies participating in the battle at the start of the ally's turn, applies enhanced hallucination on the enemy with the lowest HP percentage and hallucination on the other enemies. In addition, if the hero inflicts damage on the enemy with delusion, the enemy's enhanced hallucination or hallucination is removed, and then applies after image on the hero for every enemy that takes damage from the Dark Moon. And then the effect is removed at max stacks, applying Dark Moon Shadow or a Dark Moon Shield on the hero for 1 turn. Now, in terms of what all those stuff there, guys, actually does, we have Dark Moon Shield, which is going to taunt enemies, and then unknown race allies damage taken minus 20%, and the hero's damage taken itself is going to be, you know, another minus 30% on top of that. And then enhanced hallucination here is going to apply enhanced mind break when removed. Hallucination is going to apply mind break when removed as well, and then the enhanced mind break effect from this is going to be minus 20% attack related stats, and remove when taking damage during the enemy's turn, applying stun on the enemy that is removed for 1 turn. And then with the mind break here, it's going to be attack related stats minus 20%, remove when taking damage during the enemy's turn, disabling single or all target attack skills for 1 turn. And then the after image effect, guys, is going to be critical defense plus 20%, stacking up to 3 times. So yeah, that is going to be Sabnock's passive right there. Now moving on to her first skill, we have Evil Touch. This is going to inflict delusion damage equal to 100% of attack on all enemies, and this is going to be times 2 critical chance increase with 50% critical damage for each hallucination or enhanced hallucination effect present on enemies. And this is going to scale from 100% to 150 to 250% of attack. And then moving on to her second skill here, guys, we have, you know, the Biting Shadow effect, which is going to inflict Dark Moon damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies. And Dark Moon is going to be triple the pierce rate increase and 40% attack related stats when attacking an enemy with the Mind Break or Enhanced Mind Break effect. And the damage dealt is going to be plus 20% for each enemy defeated as well. And this is going to scale up from 120% to 180 and 300% of attack rate there, guys. And then moving on to her ultimate here, True Nightmare. And this is going to be at the 2 out of 6 ultimate move level. Applies Mind Break on all enemies. Increases the hero's attack related stats by 15% for 2 turns. Removes debuffs from the hero other than Mind Break and Enhanced Mind Break. And then inflicts spike damage equal to 400% of attack on all enemies. And every time one hallucination or enhanced hallucination is removed from the enemy while the hero is participating in the battle, the hero's basic stats will increase by 5% up to 50%. And the spike damage is going to be times 2 critical damage increase. So yeah, guys, that is the kit right there of Nightmare Sabnock. Now, where are we actually going to rank her on the tier list here in Grand Cross PvP? For PvP here, we actually are going to rank her in the meta tier, and that's why we moved up these other unknown characters. It kind of gave you guys a good hint here of what we were going to do, but Sabnock is a meta character in my opinion. The main reason why I think this character is in the meta is because I've done a lot of testing with her on my free-to-play account, going second and actually winning a lot of matches versus the Sins team and also the human team. I think I've had, you know, a pretty good, you know, showing against those teams, and considering I'm able to beat any of those really strong teams, I think she has to be in the meta at the very least if I'm winning matches against real player Sins teams or real player human teams as well. So yeah, I mean, because of that, I'll definitely rank her in the S tier with the meta characters right here. I think right now, though, she is the 3rd best team in the game for unknowns. I would say if I had to rank the teams, it would probably be... it's tough. It's tough because Sins is like a 1A, 1B thing with humans, I feel like, you know? It's really tough with those teams, but if I had to say one of them, I would probably lean towards humans. Because I think, like, Sins... I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably lean towards humans at the end of the day. But I do think that you could argue Sins number 1. Regardless of what you would argue number 1 or number 2, it would be either humans or Sins, and then you would have unknown third. And that's kind of my like thought process here for where I would actually have, you know, the unknown team in the meta for PvP. Now moving on though, guys, to the PvE tier list as well. Where are we gonna rank Sabnock in PvE? I'm probably gonna give her probably just a C tier or a B tier here, and the main reason why I think she's, you know, most likely probably a B tier, and I have Danafor Liz here as well, is because of time limit dungeon, regular farming as well, and I think she is viable on a few demonic beast battles as well. I don't think that's gonna make her a A tier character. You probably are not gonna run her on bird, you're probably not gonna run her on deer, but you could run her on skull and haughty, which is pretty good at that. And I think you could also maybe run her on rat as well, but it would be really tough. You'd have to have like high noob Sabnock to be able to pull it off, but it might be a possibility as well. But other than like demonic beast though, if we're talking like farming, she's really good for that. I mean, you run gold farming, you run time limit dungeon farming. If I'm gonna have Danafor Liz in the B tier, I'm gonna have you know, Sabnock in the B tier as well. I think they both kind of cover the same idea here. You're running them for farming content and, you know, maybe a little few demonic beast runs, but honestly it's really going to be using her for just general farming in PvE, guys. Alright guys, so for Lilia, because we don't have the full translations for global yet for this character, actually I'm going to go based off of Kane's translations from the 70SL server. So let's actually pull up what it says here and talk about exactly what she's able to do. So the LR Advent of Destruction, Lilia of Desire. For the passive here, the Power of Desire, at the start of an ally's turn, apply Power of Destruction to all enemies for 1 turn, and 7 Catastrophes allies does not take damage that exceeds 50% of their max HP. Also, at the end of enemy's turn, for every power destruction removed from the enemies, increases 7 Catastrophes allies attack related stats by 7%, max of 28%. So power destruction is going to decrease attack by 20%, and at the end of the turn, additional damage equal to 15% of remaining HP. Now moving on to our skills here, guys, we have skill 1, which is going to be free shooter. It's going to inflict pierce damage now equal to 440% of attack on a single enemy, and restores the HP of all allies by 40% of the damage dealt. So this is going to be at the rank 3, right? Moving on to the second skill here, guys, you're going to inflict damage equal to 250% of attack on all enemies, and depletes 3 ultimate move gauge, and applies infect for 2 turns. So we have a lot of things going on with the AoE. I actually do think it's pretty solid, you know, gauge reduction and infect, and it also has infect on rank 1 as well, just to bear that in mind. That is really, really strong. And then moving on to her ultimate here, removes all buffs from enemies and applies a debuff that increases damage taken by 50% for 1 turn, and inflicts sever damage equal to 525% of attack on all enemies. So definitely a very, very strong ultimate at that. And something to note about this ultimate as well is that it's not really dupe dependent for like anything they add. So the damage taken by 50% is not dependent on your dupes. You always have that regardless of your dupes, guys. So that's really nice. Alright guys, so that's the translations right there for the LR Lilia. Now where are we actually going to rank her on the tier list? In terms of PvP here, I am going to give her where I'd put probably, wait, is this, yeah, this is PvP. In terms of PvP, I'm going to have to give her like a sub-meta section. And the main reason why I would say this is because I think catastrophes in Chaos Battle, I think, are going to be pretty solid. Actually, well, we'll do, yeah, no, I got to do sub-meta, because the thing is with this Lilia, and I have Mono and the other Lilia in C tier, and I have a good reason actually to keep them there. The main reason why is these are only Chaos Battle characters really. When we're talking Mono and Lilia in terms of PvP, that's the only like time you're actually going to be using those characters. Now Lilia here, you can run her on the human team as well. You know, that is an option. You can run her on the human team, you can run her on the catastrophe team. Either or, she has that, you know, that viability pretty much. So because of that, I'll put her in the B tier. I think she is a sub-meta character. Definitely not the meta human team, unless like having high CC, you know, makes them that good. I mean, having another LR is good for CC, but I think overall, probably slotting her in the B tier makes the most sense for PvP, because she's not touching any of the like mainstay you know, either standard meta or like actual like top tier meta, you know, characters. But she's definitely an option you can run on humans. And then when Chaos Battle does come around, she's on the level of I'd say the fairy team and all of that. Like, I think it's gonna be a pretty strong character. So yeah, that's where I'd rank Lilia in the PvP side of the game. Now in terms of PvE, I actually am gonna rank her in the C tier. The main reason why is the only thing I've really found that she's actually good in is Skull and Hadi, and because that's only one thing in the game that I've found that's actually good, I can't really put her in like B tier or even like A tier at that. I'd feel like I don't know, man, just having only that viability in just kind of Skull and Hadi. I mean, you could probably actually, Nah, maybe B tier. Maybe B tier now that I think about it because of human speedrunning. Like, I have Red Levi here as well. That's a good reason, actually. Yeah, I actually will have her in B tier then. And the main reasoning for that, now that I'm like thinking about it, is because of the fact that you can run her as a human speedrunning red unit. And she's the only non-collab red unit that's actually good now. Which is a solid option. You know, being able to bring her, she can also buff Blue Roxy, which is another strong character in PVE, just when you're like clearing content and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. I actually think, you know, B tier, you know, makes the most sense for her. She is made for one specific content, which would be Skull and Hottie. You know, she also has the viability of being run on, you know, human teams in just farming. You know what I mean? So for like demonic beasts. So yeah, I mean, I would say she's probably a B tier. I think that makes the most sense. You know, pretty average character. Now we got her B tier in both. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the tier list then for July 2024. Now, again, as I mentioned, the reason why we do not have Merlin on this tier list is because I've not tested her out yet. Once I do get some testing with the character, then we can obviously rank her, and I'll have her on the next month's tier list. So, you know, just kind of tune in for that, guys, and I'll have that tier list come out next month. But thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out, guys.